welcome to a special podcast session with the Northwest Student Government Association. I am your host, Christine Mompoint, the Northwest Student Government President. This year, we piloted a special committee for the international students on our campus called the International Student Committee, and I have been very fortunate to be joined by an awesome team of powerhouse women student leaders who are going to be talking about what we've been working on and how we can get international students connected and answer some of their questions about being a student here at HCC. This podcast was brought to you by the HCC TV producers, and we are very appreciative of them. And without further ado, let me introduce you to our first guest. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. Could each of you introduce yourself and talk about your roles on our committee?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Glenna Nija. I'm from Cameroon, and I'm the chair of the International Student Committee. So I'm in charge of planning the events and helping organize to make sure everything goes perfectly.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lateefah Adedeji. I'm the co-chair of the International Student Committee. I'm here assisting Glenna in any events and any other tasks available.
Could you guys talk a little bit about the International Student Committee and maybe some goals and things you guys have planned for this semester?
Yes. The International Student Committee is an organization created for international students so they can fit in and they can feel like they're part of something big. So the goals for the events is to create fun activities that would also include them and that will also help non-international students learn about different cultures all around the world.
As Glenna said, we host a lot of activities over the semesters. Like one of the upcoming events we have is going to be the Q&A with international students, whereby we invite every other students of HCC to come participate and learn more about the International Student Committee, and if they have any other questions they want to ask us, so they can participate and be involved in the committee.
And I think that's really important, is making sure that international students feel connected and a part of things on campus. How are the ways that students can get involved in this committee? Is there some things that they can do to help out, or are there meetings? What do you guys typically host?
Yes, we typically have volunteering, and the student organization sends an email and text message for anybody that would like to be part of these amazing events, part of this amazing planning we have going on. So feel free to ask any student office that's in your campus about any events. Feel free to reach out to us because we are always looking for more volunteers and people to join in.
Yes. We also have meetings on campus every once a month. We're trying to involve people into coming into our online meetings also, because we also have that. So if you're not able to come in to campus, we also have availability for you to come online.
Yes. And
yes.
So when you first came to HCC, what did you guys encounter, or what did you guys experience? How could you explain that to the other international students who are listening today?
Okay. As an I was a dual credit student from high school, so it was kind of like the transition for me from high school to college wasn't that much of a difference, because my professors would tell us all you have to do is get involved, talk to your counselors, just make sure you're part of the HCC committee, so people can know you and just see that, oh yes, you're participating. And as international students, I know it's kind of hard for them to kind of fill in because they don't really know more about the system. So I would just advise, give them, tell them to talk to people, especially counselors. They know more about the events coming up on campus and all that stuff, and also talk to Student Life. Student Life knows everything going on, so that's something I would tell them.
And something I like about HCC is the fact that Houston Community College has a lot of varieties of people from different cultures. So even if you're new, you're not going to feel left out, because there's most likely going to be somebody that speaks your language. There's most likely going to be somebody that's from the same culture as you. And the counselors and the student organizations are very friendly. So for me, my transition was very smooth, although I speak French. I took some few classes in English, and I also met from some Spanish speakers, and we just had this connection. So it was very amazing. My transitioning into school was very smooth.
That's awesome. Could you guys talk a little bit about like maybe a tip or something that you wish somebody had told you before you started attending classes or something of that nature?
Yes. So as international students, one tip is always check with your advisors, always check with your counselors to see that the classes you're actually taking is what are required for you to graduate. And something I wish somebody would have told me earlier was to start a Bible studies, because I actually have one. My friends and I started one in every campuses, A-Leaf, Spring Branch, Katy. And the reason why we started a Bible study is because most people that come from different countries, they already have that spiritually growth. So when they come from a new country, they need that environment. They need that caring environment. They need that stability. So that's what my friends and I provide for international students.
And Lateefah?
Oh, okay. One thing I wish someone would have told me was, like she said, the classes, having your counselor tell you more about like the classes you're trying to take. Also, I would like to know, I would have loved to know that the classes I was taking wasn't meant for, it depends on the college you're transferring to also.
So maybe asking more questions about like where you're transferring, thinking about next steps. Because I
Yeah,
don't think a lot
next
of
step.
students think about the next step too often. So maybe like start asking questions earlier about your next steps to like the university.
And visit the career offices.
Oh.
So to kind of check in that, okay, this is exactly what career I want to make. Because HCC campuses also offers that. Speak with your advisor and speak with your counselors.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies. And I think that all these information is really important, especially for students who are new to this system. They're not exactly sure what they're looking for, what they want to go to, asking advisors, connecting with students from the similar faith, or just really asking questions. I think something that you had mentioned is just like you wish that you would never stop asking questions, right? Just to always continue to ask questions to advisors, counselors, professors. I mean, you'd be amazed to see how much people are willing to help you once you reach out. So thank you so much, ladies. And to them, to get connected with you guys, I think you have a meeting for Northwest this coming Tuesday, so then you guys will be, one of you will be at the meeting to connect with students. And then you have a meeting on the last Friday of the month for international students at 12 o'clock. That's really awesome that you guys are a part of this. And thank you so much, ladies, for all that you're doing to help students feel connected. And when we come back, we'll be talking to Kiara, our secretary, who will share a little bit more about her experience of transferring and what it's like to actually be connected at a HCC student organization.
This is Ronik. She's a mom with a physics degree, so she understands the power of momentum. And she knows that by learning English at Houston Community College, she'll be unstoppable. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
And we're back on this special edition of a podcast with the Northwest Student Government Association, and we are joined by my friend and my fellow SGA officer, Kiara, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about her experiences with student leadership on campus and what it's like to transfer to another university after her time at HCC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And if you could just tell us like where you're from and then your major and then a little bit about the student organizations you're a part of.
So my name is Kiara. I'm from Chile. So my first language is Spanish. So I've been here at HCC for over a year now, over 2 years almost, and I'm part of student life, like student government association, like you said. Since I got here, I've tried many organizations. I've joined a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just try to see what I fit in. And then, yeah, I really like Student Government Association. I also have my own student organization. We started. You are part of it. It's called Future Cooks. So I love how HCC also allows me the opportunity to not just be involved in student organizations that already exist, but also to create my own with the purpose to help other students that are in the same situation, like as myself. So I think it's great.
Really, really exciting. 'Cause I know that you said that you were involved in other student organizations. Do you feel like that's helped you kind of figure out more of like the career path you wanted to be a part of?
Yes. So my major is business. I haven't decided exactly what area. I also love psychology. I would love to get a minor in psychology. I find it so interesting. I think all the type of student government, like students organizations that I've been part of, have taught me every now and then. Like I think I found myself when I first got here and I said my major was business. I wasn't really sure why, but having administration duties, leadership opportunities, I'm just more convinced every day that that's what I want to do.
Well, that's awesome. And I love that like student organizations were able to help you connect kind of like your passions and your goals together. Do you feel like student organizations, can you talk a little bit more about what maybe you worked on in student organizations that kind of connected you to that path? So what kind of roles you've had?
So right now, like you said, now I'm the secretary for the Student Government Association. So that position, I'm also a reporting officer for the International Student Committee. I love the International Student Committee. I'm really passionate about it. So with my job as a secretary and a reporting officer, I've been able to learn how to delegate, how to supervise, but at the same time, create a teamwork environment, because I think that's something that a lot of places don't have. Because sometimes when you want a goal, if you want to reach a goal and it's a lot of people, sometimes people forget about meeting people. You sometimes don't know the people you're emailing to. You just email them. And if they ask you, have you seen it? Or you can just run into that person and you don't know. So you learn to delegate, but you also learn to, be aware of people's duties and responsibilities and also encourage them.
And I think that's really powerful for students who may not have a job on campus, but they are able learning job skills. So I think that's a really big part of it. That makes a lot of sense. And I know you've talked to me a lot about transferring to the University of Houston, right?
Yes.
And so maybe talk about the Future Cougs organization and what your experience is like creating your own student organization, but then also what your experiences has been on transferring.
So my transferring story, it's been a long one, I just have to say. And that's what, I like the question in the previous segment where you said, what would you what would you tell people that they don't know? And that's something that that's why I created Future Cooks, honestly, because I was lucky enough to meet people, the right people. They already transferred. I have friends that are already there, but they've told me everything that I need to know. So I'm more than prepared. I already started my process. I already applied. All of that's done. But it took me a while to get the hang of it. So that's why I decided to create Future Cooks. So my idea with that student organization is to make sure people understand requirements, is to make sure they understand what resources that we can give them. Because the student organization, when I created it, it wasn't that hard. It took a lot of work and it's dedication, but it's possible. So once that's done, I just want to make sure people know the opportunities that they have.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. When do you think is a good time for students who are international students to start looking for a new university to attend? I mean, I know you said you've been in this process for a long time, so what would you recommend to them?
I would always say ask all the questions that you have to ask. It doesn't matter if you sound you may be scared. You're I already asked that and I forgot. You have the right to ask again, because sometimes things change. Degree plans change. Your requirements change all the time. So you just have to keep up. And I don't think, I'm not saying you may have to apply the day the application opens, but just be aware of it. I think you should keep in touch on the deadlines and make sure you have everything that you need.
Keeping in touch with the deadlines, looking ahead, I think that's super important. And I think getting involved in student organizations is definitely going to help be a stepping stone for students. Like you said, it kind of connected you to different passions on campus. And then you do have the fortunate opportunity to get a scholarship as a student government officer. And so we have student government officer positions all over the district. So that's another opportunity for students who aren't working on campus to kind of have something to kind of support what they're doing and things of that nature. And then we get to go to Galveston in April. So there are some really cool opportunities. And I really appreciate you just coming on and encouraging students to start their own organizations and to be very aware of the opportunities that HCC has. Are there any other resources you kind of found that were very beneficial to you?
I love student organizations. Like I've always, since I arrived, I've always been really passionate about student government because I didn't really know what it was at the beginning. But then you learn as you go. Like you learn from, like they mentioned earlier, you can just attend events. You evolve to start volunteering. Then you evolve to start gaining leadership training. And even though not everything is a job but you still gain so much out of it. It takes a lot of time sometimes, but you gain so many skills that I don't think this early on maybe you would have gotten if you hadn't been involved. So I think it's really beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think it's really important for everyone to look into their student organizations on their campuses, connect with their student government associations, and really see all that is out there, because you do, like you said, I know I personally got to go to 5 or 6 student leadership trainings over the last 2 years, and just really got to learn a lot about myself and about other people, which I definitely think, like, you going into business, that's definitely helped you like a ton. Thank you so much for being here. We genuinely appreciate you and the work that your committee's doing. On our next segment, we will have Lyndee Lee, an international student ambassador, who's going to be talking more about how to get connected to employment on campus and how you can get a mentor on our college campus at HCC.
Meet Ekaterina. She has lofty goals to learn English and accounting. So she's studying for 2 degrees at Houston Community College, which means she's going all the way to the top. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
I learned how to cook from my grandmother in the mountains of Oaxaca. Every time I need some comfort, I just remember what she told me. HCC definitely was a turning point in my life. What those wonderful teachers and instructors taught me is priceless. I have won many awards and worked in many restaurants. HCC was the window which opened the opportunity for me. For this wonderful city, they have given me so much. I will thank you from the bottom of my heart.
HCC is easy to get to. It's easy to apply and easy to become a part of.
Once you finish your 2 years there, you can transition into a 4-year university or go into the workforce.
It's affordable, it's accessible, it changes lives.
Meet Saskia. She loves cars. Seriously, she whistles at them. So she's studying engineering at Houston Community College. After that, a 4-year degree. Then it's off to the races. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
And we are here on the last segment of this very special podcast session with the Northwest Student Government Association. We are very fortunate to be joined by International Student Ambassador Lyndee. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really fortunate to have you come at such short notice. Yeah. Could you tell us, one, about you, like where you're from and then what you're involved in on campus?
Hey, so I'm Lyndee. I'm currently a sophomore of the Houston Community College Honors College Programs. I'm also currently the ISA, which is the International Student Ambassador at Central Campus. But we also have other ambassadors throughout the HCC system, all over other campus as well. I'm from Vietnam, and as I say, I'm a sophomore, so I'm about to graduate and transferring to the University of Houston.
Awesome. Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about the International Student Ambassador Program? Because I know you said it was new, so can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, definitely. So I know about the opportunity through the HCC webpage. HCC webpage is such a informative and such a helpful source that you can reach out to our information as well as other informations. So ISA are the leaders that connect the international students to the international office for more specifically. We also help international students, FYI, to adjust to their college life and their campus life in Houston and in HCC. Throughout my terms at the ambassador, I gained a lot of experience, a lot of valuable skills, especially, I'm here with you guys right now. What we offer the most is to help students and international students to adjust their life. And we've been through that all struggles, so we'll always try our best to help the student to overcome their difficulties and their concerns. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. When you first came here, did you feel like it was a hard transition, or how did you feel when you first came to HCC?
So I honestly, I have to say that I was lucky to meet the right person, to meet the right mentor that helped me to adjust my life. Most of the students gonna come here and spend their first year studying ESL. But not for me because I already have my certificate to skip through that process. So I came straight into college. But part of that is it's kind of a rush for me because I didn't have enough time to adapt myself to the life. Instead of before going straight into the college life.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I met a lot of helpful friends. So what my advice is that stay out. Instead of going to school and go back straight to your house or your home, just stay at school for a little bit, chatting with your classmate, and you will, relationships and opportunity will eventually come to you because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Could you talk a little bit maybe about the type of events that the International Student Ambassadors do across the district?
So last semester, because it's new, so we didn't have a lot of event that coming for the last semester because we're trying to set everything down between our organizations first before we actually shoot out any event. So one of the most important events for the international student is the orientations that take place at the beginning of every semester. So after that, throughout the semester, we're gonna have the welcome back week. And then like last semester we have the movie night. Which is fascinating. And for the upcoming event, we already set everything out in the calendar, and we hope that all of them, not all of them, but most of them would make it through the process and could take place in time.
That's awesome. And you said that we could connect with you guys on the website, correct?
On the website is where there's a lot of information, but the main portal that we shoot out information is through the HCC International's office email. So from student events to transfer fair or even school emergency announcement, we send everything out through the email. So check your email all the time.
Oh, great! That's great to know. So international students should regularly check their emails because the office does send out. That's great. I know that you also work on campus. Can you talk a little bit about that position and how you were able to get that position?
So I am currently the SI leader, which can be understood as the supplemental instruction leader. So what we do is that we are the, you can understand, we are the private tutor for certain classes. So I got the opportunity it was all of a sudden for me because I took Math 1324 in my first semester at ACC, and then the professor asked me, and he saw my academic performance, and he asked, do you mind if to be my assistant for my future classes? And I said yes.
That sounds awesome. So I guess really putting yourself out there, making sure you're top of your classes.
Keep track on your performance, and then create relationship with your classmate, with your professors. You never know when the opportunity gonna come from, because I know that we're international students, and there's not a lot of jobs are available for us because we can only working on campus, and on-campus job is competitive to get a position.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. It makes a lot of sense. Is there any other additional tips that you want to give to international students, maybe about using campus resources or anything like that?
So to be honest, I didn't know a lot about resources when I first came here. It takes time for me to figure everything out. But now that we are the ambassador, I would say that you can reach out to at any time through when you see it on campus or whatever, so that we can guide you, or we can at least help you to find the correct person to help you with your concerns or difficulties. So to me, the HCC bookstores and the library offer a great range of academic resources for us.
That's very true.
Sometimes I know that the books are expensive, so sometimes what I do first is that before the semester actually start, we can always find the syllabus on the HCC Learning Web, which is great online resources for students. check out their syllabus and check out what books does the professor want us to use. And then I will go straight to the library database to see if the book is available over there. And so for my first and my second semester, I always check out book on the library. So
Yeah, that's a good resource.
I just spend like a little amount for my code to get the access code,
Yeah, that
But
makes
then for the
perfect
books,
sense.
I always got it free from the library.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us and working with us today. And this conversation does not have to stop. You can join us at tinyurl.com/NWSGA to connect with Glenna, Lateefah, Kiara, and get some more questions answered. We do have an international student meet and greet coming up at Northwest. And then also connect with Lyndee and her team of the International Student Ambassadors. We want to thank HCC TV one more time for just allowing us to start the conversation and get some of your questions answered. And we hope to connect with you very soon. Thank you so much for joining us.